Alright guys, before we start today's video, number one, lip thing going on here, it's because I have a Zin. Number two is, we actually have, I was kind of reluctant to do it, but I opened up a Discord server so that everyone can join, because we need to congregate all the viewers, we need to congregate everyone together, put them together in a chat room, and then we can rally up the army, the LGV army. So I need everyone right now. Click the link in the description. It's going to be the one at the very top. Today's video is kind of a weird one. It's a little off the cuff. I'm kind of filming it candidly. I don't even know if I really want to edit it that much because, to be honest with you, my whole plan is to upload every Friday. It's Friday today and I have no video, so I got to get something out ASAP. No Rocky. So I wanted to talk about OSAMASON'S profile picture. And I'm going to get it up right here, so I'm seeing it with you. So OSAMASON recently changed his profile picture. So OSAMASON has changed his profile picture recently, which for most people, even making a whole video about this seems very nonsensical. Why do you care about someone's profile picture? Get a job, bruh. You mad unemployed. But I think that's like a very misconstrued take, and I don't think people when I say that, and that's the response people are giving me, I don't think they're seeing the bigger picture. And I wanted to make this video because I wanted to talk about it, and I wanted to talk about what his profile picture actually is, and the kind of leading on from that, this idea of tokenizing elite ball knowledge for social appeal, or sort of treating it like a popularity contest almost. I'm seeing the word performative being used a lot, and I wouldn't necessarily call it performative. I see it a lot like this obligation to self-insert very weird, abstract, niche pop culture references that no one gets, but only you, to kind of accentuate how cool and understanding of art that you are. And so that's where we lead into OSAMASON'S profile picture, which subtly changed. Listen, I don't listen to OSAMASON. I'm gonna be honest with you. I can't name 3 songs, but he changed his profile picture, and it is of this very weird. It's a grainy, it's like a man, and he's holding a severed arm, and he's very clearly green screened onto this sunset sky background. So OSAMASON'S profile picture, it's a screen cap, so it's a screenshot of this very weird, obscure short film called Tom Thumb in the Land of Giants. But this short film in particular is really hard to access. It's not really publicly viewable online. Most streaming platforms don't have it, even the illegal ones for pirating. This is a very hard film to access, along with all the other films Nick Z has made. The only place I was able to find this film was on VK.com, the Russian thing. So that kind of sets the tone of how niche this film is. It's not some abstract I don't know, a letterboxed film. No, this is actually the real deal. It's hard to come across. You have to be pretty tapped in to know this stuff, which is funny to me because OSAMASON is a rapper. So what the fuck does he know about underground 80s New York filmmaking, underground indie filmmaking? What does he know about that? What is his interest? Why did he feel compelled to have his profile picture, to go out of your way and watch this obscure film, which it doesn't really have any. I don't really I'm not a film guy, so I don't really know what I'm watching when I watch it. But it's the intentional choice to go out of your way to screenshot it and set it as your profile picture, so that this is how people identify you online when they search you, when they search you up on Instagram, they try to follow you, engage with your posts. This is the first thing they see. This is the symbol, this is the iconography that represents OSAMASON. He's not, I don't understand how this would kind of be, this is a very weird choice. And then it dawned on me, I was thinking about, everyone riffs on Kai Cenat for having, a personal stylist, right, who's, teaching him, you have to have, these mannerisms, and you have to dress like this to, accentuate that this is, you're a cool person, whatever. Now I'm thinking in the back of my mind, maybe that's what it is, because you have to understand with, for public figures like OSAMASON, their Instagram page, it's not just a place to document their life like ordinary people. This is a person who, his Instagram is most likely managed by a team of people, and he has, people who tell him, like, what to wear, this is how the music video should be choreographed. Like, OSAMASON'S not thinking out of the box for every minute detail across everything he does. His merch, he's not designing merch. He's not making the beats. And so one would come to a conclusion that some weird cracked out person in his team was like, oh, we should make the profile picture for OSAMASON this very weird, obscure short film that only like a handful of people are going to recognize. I guess the idea is like, if you're one of these weird people you're not necessarily in like the rap crowd, but you're very diehard about like filmmaking and stuff like that, you'll see the profile picture, you'll understand the reference, you out of millions of people understand it, and even if you don't listen to rap, you'll have this understanding of like, oh, so OSAMASON'S kind of like tapped in. Oh wow, he's like a really artful kind of guy. That's interesting. Because that's the thing with Nick Zed. Like, I don't know much about this guy. When I was looking him up, I kind of got the impression that he kind of reminded me, and I'm not like a film buff kind of guy, but he kind of reminded me of Tom Six, in the sense that like all of their films are, their sense of like what makes like a fruitful film or like an amazing piece of art is how degenerate can you make it, how gross and revolting and repulsive can you make a film. So when Tom Six makes The Human Centipede, he thinks he's like a fucking genius mastermind film guy. And I think the same thing goes with Nick Zed. I haven't watched any of his other films, but I did read a little bit of his Cinema of Transgression manifesto. Like, and Nick Zed has accolades too. Like I think Quentin Tarantino has quoted him as like a big inspiration for his films. But look, the overarching point I wanted to make with this whole thing is, it's very interesting, the dichotomy between OSAMASON and Nick Zed. Because Nick Zed, so he's an underground artist too, but he, was in the filmmaking industry. So he was making these extremely obscure, low-budget films that didn't really, like, they weren't, like, they're not really on the internet, they didn't have any mass appeal. He was showing them off at, like, small film festivals, this sort of vibe. And he was very hardcore about this idea of being an underground artist and what it means to be underground, to the point where he pretty much threw all the chances away of like making it in Hollywood. He had no aspiration to make it in Hollywood. He didn't want to make some like big Steven Spielberg type film. He just wanted to make art, to the point where like he wasn't even rich. Like, this guy was mad broke apparently. He was like doing taxi cabs, which is like he was like the equivalent of a DoorDash driver. Okay, and the reason why I point this out is because this is such an interesting dichotomy between what it means to be an underground artist between different industries. So like for rap, the sentiment is still the same. Even if you're an underground artist, the goal and the desire is to be rich, famous, have tons of designer clothes, have a big house, tons of hoes. But with Nick Zed, it's like the complete opposite. Like, he didn't want to be in the limelight at all. He didn't want to be like this publicly known figure. He wanted to be as obscure as possible. And for OSAMASON, it's like, well, he's signed to a label, so like, disregard underground. He's not even independent as an artist anymore. And I find all of this interesting because it's this weird specific choice to make your profile picture this this short film, which, for most people, it's like this, maybe he just thought it was cool. But I really don't think it's like that. I think when you get past 100,000 followers, your Instagram page, it's no longer just like a regular, like, this is me. Like, this now it becomes this platform for you to promote your music, sell merch, event tickets. Like, this is your brand. So every creative decision that you make, every post, every story, like your profile picture, it all matters to sort of create this world of who OSAMASON is and what he represents. So in his profile picture is this screenshot of Nick Zed's film. My insinuation is that he's trying to sort of align himself with Nick Zed and his beliefs, which is so funny because they're so inversed in what their understanding is of of underground art. But even if we was to gloss over that and we was to just say, oh, he just, maybe he just came across the video online and he wanted to set it as his profile picture because it was like cool and like rare. that kind of brings me to the point of this video, which is like this like tokenization of elite bull knowledge, right? So this idea that if I have this interest in some like pop culture thing, if it's like a video game and no one's ever heard about it, and the only way you can play it is if you get a really weird emulator, because you know it's impossible to play the game, it's not on the internet. I had to go to Japan to find the cartridge, to take the ROM files out of the cartridge and emulate it. And you know, this is so obscure and this is so cool, I can actually use this video game as a part of my identity because it sets me apart from everyone else as a consumer. Oh, and a better example is like when people force themselves to listen to an artist that they know deep down they don't like, but they kind of have to do it for the sense of approval of being like, oh, you know, I'm cut from the cloth, I'm not listening to Drake, I'm listening to this dude who's like way more obscure, and that kind of sets me apart from everyone, and that distinguishes myself, and that's what gives me my unique identity, because I consume a type of media that you don't. And I find that insane because now we're kind of coming to this turning point in this sort of online culture, this webosphere, where I feel like people are they're going to start eating themselves alive. Because what happens when there's like no stone left unturned? Everything is brought into like the most obscure thing. Everyone has an obscure thing. This need, this obligation to gatekeep it as well. And it's like, well, how do you gatekeep something if it's so integral to what makes you as a person? You know, you've got a fucking Kingdom Hearts tattoo, and you're so hell-bent on gatekeeping and not telling too many people that you're a fucking Kingdom Hearts fan, so they don't figure out what the game is and they play it themselves and then they start doing it. And then you have to like be like, well, you might be a Kingdom Hearts fan, but guess what? I mod Kingdom Hearts, so I actually know how the game works internally. And I think people got to stop doing that. But now OSAMASON, who's pretty big, he's a big name, lots of people know him, and they're seeing him doing it. How many people out of his fucking 800,000 followers are going to look at that and insinuate what he's doing and his choices behind it, and then they're going to start doing it, and then they're going to be obnoxious retards on the internet talking about how they're so arty, they're so artful, they know this random painter who died of a heroin overdose, and like it's so cool. I think that's all I wanted to say for the video. I didn't actually there wasn't really much of a point. I was just kind of rambling. Listen, I want to try and keep doing the ramble style stuff. I know, probably not as entertaining, but we gotta switch it up a little bit. We gotta do new things, and I think if I can get behind the rambling stuff and I can get good at it, then it'll be a lot easier to make content. Make sure you check out the website, but also you gotta join the Discord server. That's an important one. Make sure you join the Discord server because I'm really trying to get that going pretty big. Trying to populate it. Alright, bye.